Okay, class, let's just take a look at what exercises we have. I'm going to take a look at some of these set 2 exercises. Uh, you need to do set 3 for your homework, but just want to show you what they're looking for. In particular, we look at problem number 4. It says here, the graph of a certain function is shown here. Copy and complete the following table for this function. So here again, we're just asked a series of questions. First, we're told to copy and complete the table. So we see x and y values that we should have. They've given us the x value, and we need to find the y value. So we just need to actually go and find what those points are. So at 0, we know that y is equal to 0, okay, because we're looking at the actual graph. Okay, so we have x, we have y, and we have 0, so we know it's 0. So where would the number 1 be? Okay, well, we'd have to go all the way over and figure out, we have a number 5 is what appears, right? You go over 1, the point is at 5. And when we go over to point number 2, it appears to be 10, right? And we go over to 3, we go all the way up to 15. So here we've plotted our answers are 0, 5, 10, and 15. So that's all they're really looking for there. Now, what happens to y if x is tripled? Okay, so if we triple, well, where's an example of it tripling? Well, over here I go from 1 to 3, right? What happens when it triples? Well, this triples as well, right? 5 becomes 15. So what happens to y is that it triples. What kind of function is this? Well, we've learned in this lesson that this is a direct variation. It shows all of the signs of being the direct variation, meaning its origin. The origin is the beginning over here. It passes through the origin. Let's just say we're only using this particular quadrant. Um, so when I say beginning, I basically mean from this particular quadrant. I'll explain more of that in subsequent lessons and chapters. But so we see this. We see that it's also a straight line from our picture here. So we would definitely say that because it's a straight line coming out of the origin, it is a direct variation. Now, if we were to write a formula for this, what would that formula be? Well, we see that every time you go up 1, this is doubling, right? It's doubling. So we would actually say 2x. Y is equal to 2x. Why? Because, well, uh, I'm sorry, it's not doubling. It's actually 5 times. I use the word. We're doubling across. We're actually multiplying by 5. So we take the x value over here 0, we multiply by 5, it's 0. But when we take the x value here of 1, the y value becomes 5. The 2 becomes 10, and the 3 becomes 15. So we must be multiplying by 5, okay? Now, use your formula to find the value of y when x is equal to 7. So we use the formula, and we simply will write y is equal to 5 times 7, which means y is going to be equal to 35. Now that's way off our chart. You've heard of the expression off the charts. Well, it's way off of our chart. We'd have to draw a much larger chart and make sure that we have a y value of 35. Okay, so that's basically how we're going to go about this type of problem. As we go into these other problems, we're just going to have to read. I'm not going to do them all. You should be able to answer these questions by paying very close attention to the details that they're asking. The following table represents a direct variation. They're telling you already it's a direct variation, you know it's a straight line. They're giving you numbers here of x value, but they're also giving you some y values, and you have to find either the x or the y based on the information that you have on the first one. So we have to copy complete the table. We have to determine, as they ask here, by what number do the x numbers have to be multiplied in order to get the corresponding y numbers? Well, you have to look at that very first one, okay? And it's not going to be as simple as 2 times or 3 times. Sometimes they're decimals, okay? Fractions. And in this case, I would suggest to you that there is a fraction here. And they also want us to find the formula. And so as you can read on, all of these really are, they're not necessarily word problems, but they're giving you a lot of words. And when I say they're not word problems, you're going to understand word problems where you're given a lot of information and you're going to have to actually create certain formulas to determine what the answers are. In this case, they're really giving you a lot of words and they're asking you information, but it's really based on everything that we've already learned. So we just need to apply the knowledge that we have and try to find all the answers to these questions. So you can go ahead and do set number 3. And of course, you can always email me if you have any problems with these. Okay, we can go over them in class.